Hey there guys, Portal Master 9351 here, and I am once again back with my friend Jackson.
Hey,
And
don't know what you want me to
today
say.
we're going to be talking about the Microsoft press conference, the Xbox Microsoft press conference, whatever you want to call it. We've got a lot to talk about, including the brand new Xbox that was announced. So without
Brand
without
new.
further ado, let's actually get started. So I guess first up we should talk about the Xbox One X is what we should start off with.
Definitely. I mean, you remember yesterday, I actually texted you when they announced it, when I found out they announced it, because I think the name is stupid. But
Yeah, it literally has three X's in the name.
yeah, I saw a Twitter post by one of my favorite YouTubers, Josh Jepson. He said it sounds like one of those usernames that you'll see lots of little kids use.
XXX Xbox One XXX
Yes,
underscore.
exactly.
Oh yeah, it is. It is kind of like that. I mean, see, here's the thing. It's such a good idea to have these more powerful game consoles that can do 4K. But here's the thing. $500 is not that bad of a price point for a device that can do something on 4K.
It's not, especially because if you consider the fact that the Xbox One originally at launch was 500 as well.
Right. Well, here's the problem with it, though. Not a lot of people have 4K TVs, so it's not that practical.
They even said that. They even mentioned that the fact that like a lot of people don't have them yet, and I don't remember what Phil Spencer actually said about it,
Yeah.
but he did mention something about that, and like, well, you can go ahead and just get it.
Yeah.
Which he even said. Oh, here's what he said. He said even if you don't have a 4K TV, it makes your games running in 1080p even look better, and they still run better.
I guess that's a fair point. It's just you're not going to be able to take full advantage of it unless you have a 4K TV, which is my
I agree, and I feel like this is going to be much more. People who are going to be more willing to buy it are going to be people who don't yet have an Xbox One.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree.
Because
Definitely.
I don't own an Xbox One. I've never owned an Xbox, period. But I am considering getting an Xbox One X.
Yeah, that
At some
makes
point.
sense.
Like, if I'm gonna get one, I'm gonna get that one.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And the Kotaku article actually talks about the whole XXX thing on here briefly. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the Xbox One X. That's a mouthful to say.
Yeah, I'm glad it does 4K gaming because that was what because they had the Xbox One S that did 4K streaming, but it didn't do 4K gaming.
Right. That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, and that's the same thing with the PlayStation 4 Pro. PlayStation 4 Pro does not do 4K gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually what turned me off of buying one of those, because I was going to buy it for the 4K gaming until I realized it doesn't actually do 4K gaming. It just does 4K video and streaming.
Right.
So I'm hoping Sony will announce something similar to this.
Yeah,
Right there.
hopefully. We'll have to see tonight when the Sony stream is going.
Yeah,
so I guess we'll move on to actually the first game that they showed off, which was Forza 7.
Oh, Forza 7 looked amazing.
It definitely looked amazing, and I think it was really cool how they actually premiered the new Porsche during the announcement. I thought that was kind of cool, a little tie-in with the real-world announcement, as well as a video game announcement. I thought that was a pretty cool little thing they did there.
Yeah, it was definitely very cool. I mean, I've played Forza games in the past on some of my friends, my cousins' Xbox and stuff. They're good games, and I mean, this one doesn't look any different.
Right.
It looks really good.
I mean, just again,
And I think it's
to me,
going to run amazing.
I mean, I said this about, I said this last night, but
hear
I
you.
really am not a fan of racing games in general, personally. But, visually, it does look very good, and I have a feeling that people that enjoy racing games are really going to enjoy Forza 7.
I mean, it's just like the rest of the sports games, like we talked about yesterday, where it's just the newest installment, and it's going to basically just do better what it's been doing in the past.
Yeah.
But
so
it did definitely.
Well, I guess we can talk about Metro now. So I'm not terribly familiar with Metro as a general rule of thumb, but what I saw in that trailer definitely impressed me. So
It did. It looked really good. I'd actually never heard of it until I watched this conference, and I thought it looked good.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I just didn't know exactly what it was. I mean, it says on here that it's probably going to be some sort of open world or semi-open world game, and open world's always cool. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
for Metro.
if it is open world, that's definitely really cool. I honestly don't know what to say about it because I don't have the.
Hmm.
I've never played the first game to compare it, but it looked good.
Yeah.
I think most of the stuff looked good,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot of diversity in the
Hmm.
there.
There's
I
a couple
guess
of games that are very diverse that I'm really excited to talk about,
yeah.
but we'll get to those in a little bit.
Yeah, so next up is Assassin's Creed Origins, which it's actually funny because this was a huge announcement that surprised nobody. I mean, I actually am aware that people were putting out pre-order cards for Assassin's Creed Origins as far as a week in advance. So it's supposed to be this big surprise, awesome announcement, but no, it wasn't. But I mean, my gosh, guys, that looked awesome.
It does.
The theming on that is amazing. That whole Egyptian theme looked amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, when I found out that they were announcing this, I found out before I watched the conference. I was wondering what they were going to do when I found out it was in Egypt to
Yeah.
make it better. Because the thing is, with the Assassin's Creed games, I've played almost all of them, and I've been playing them since Assassin's Creed 2.
Hmm.
So it's always moved forward in time, and technology and stuff throughout the games obviously progresses because you go from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance to the American Revolution
Hmm.
to the French Revolution and onward and all that. And so the technology continuously gets better, so you get newer weapons, cooler
Hmm.
playthings, like in the newest one, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you get to ride on top of trains during the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I was wondering how it was going to be to take a step back,
Yeah, way back.
way
To-
back, like a few steps back
Like
to
BC
Egypt.
back.
Yeah, like before the assassins were even created. Like this is the inception.
I think it's cool how they're like fighting in arenas and gladiatorial combat. I think that's a really cool little thing they did there. I think that story-wise they definitely did a really good job. And the attention to detail, like the voice actor for the main character has that sort of African accent. I mean, it's just little things like that that really have impressed me from what I've seen about this game so far.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I like the fact that if Thomas, you haven't played Assassin's Creed, right?
I've played, I've actually played it a little bit. I never owned
Yeah.
it, but I played it a little bit.
I've played a lot of them, and you have this ability in the game called Eagle Vision,
Hmm. Yeah,
which
I know that.
I think it's notable that I'm not saying he doesn't have it, and maybe he'll develop it, but he doesn't actually have that. Instead, he has an actual
He
eagle
has an eagle that gives him vision.
that does the same thing, and it's actually literally Eagle Vision. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I thought
That
was
shows
cool too.
that shows where you get the name from.
Right.
Because my guess is in the series they got that ability passed down from like the people who were there before, from like the first civilization that was super advanced,
Yeah.
and so that's how they got that sixth sense ability.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing this is how it gets the name Eagle
Yeah.
Vision. And I think that
Probably
is
so.
really cool.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of lore that's explored in this game. It's going to be like continuity heaven for dedicated fans of the franchise, for sure.
It will be, and I'm really excited to see, because in like the games like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where you're actually building up the Brotherhood,
Hmm.
you get to see kind of how in that game that's how the Italian Brotherhood becomes super strong, and then in the next game after that, Ezio goes and builds up the Turkish Brotherhood,
Yeah.
Constantinople. So it's gonna be really exciting to see this guy because it's origin. So I'm assuming he's gonna eventually, probably near the end of the game, start to build up the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I'm guessing by finding
Create
other
the
people in
foundations,
Egypt.
yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna find other people in Egypt who agree with his cause or have other grievances.
Or have the
And
similar
one.
abilities or aptitude for it.
Yeah, something like that. And I think it's just gonna be really cool to see how it does that, and hopefully we'll see at the end something that kind of teases, or maybe even more, to the moving out of Egypt.
Hmm. Yeah.
Possibly even to near where we get the Brotherhood, where it is in the Middle Ages,
Yeah.
where the first game starts off.
So I think that's it for Assassin's Creed Origins. I guess.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
move
sure.
on.
I'm sure we'll talk about it again tomorrow with the Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, I'm sure. So the next one here is called Deep Rock Galactic. Now they didn't really show off too much about this, but I played a game before that's called Trove, and it's very, very much like Trove, or it's like a higher resolution modded version of Minecraft.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't really. It didn't look like anything special to me, but
Yeah, it's
it definitely didn't look bad.
No, it's. I think it's geared more towards like a younger audience, not like a young audience, but like a slightly younger audience.
Yeah.
Not too much to talk about there. We've got Battlegrounds. So you want to talk about that?
I mean, I don't really remember much of it because I mean, this was a very long conference, and I did have to watch it in a couple of pieces. My memory's not too good. There was a lot to take in. They showed off a lot of games.
If I'm correct, Battlegrounds was the one that's kind of like a battle arena, if I'm correct. But I'm not 100%
It looks
sure.
like that. It's like, here's what Kotaku says. It says it's basically Battle Royale.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything special to me, personally.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was good, though. But the thing is, it's a launch exclusive, which I do like that they did note that, but they didn't actually say it, but it did say it. The fact that stuff is launch exclusives, but not truly exclusive, which means you don't necessarily need an Xbox to get this game.
Yeah.
You just won't be able to get it at launch.
I think about half of them were exclusive in some way, shape, or form, though.
Yeah, and like it really upsets me when stuff is exclusive because I don't want to buy an Xbox.
I know.
Xbox some point.
I know.
Gosh.
Next one on here, and this one did impress me, was State of Decay.
That looked so good. State of Decay 2, get it right. But yeah, no, that looked
Yeah,
really
State of Decay
good.
2. Yeah, it looked really good. I mean, it looked... that is something that I would definitely want to buy, personally.
I never played State of Decay 1,
Yeah.
but from the looks of this and from what I've read on Kotaku, it's very similar to this, but this one just looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly okay with that because it looks really good, and I'm hoping it's the kind of game where you don't need to play the first one.
Right. And sometimes sequels really do just need to be an improved version of the first game. Sometimes
or just a
it does
continuation.
need to be a whole new game, but I think in games like this, which is a little bit more freeform, I think you could say, I think it's better to have just general improvements on the old game, personally.
Definitely. So you want to move on to Minecraft?
Minecraft. So apparently Minecraft is going to be a multi-platform game.
Fully multi-platform. It's been like, I believe it's been a little bit multi-platform for a past while, but now
it used to be that you could play the Windows 10 version with the Pocket Edition version. But now it says on here it'll be tablets, VR, Windows 10, PC, and consoles. So that's really cool that it's actually going to be where everyone can play with each other in the game. I think that's a really cool thing.
And I do like. I do like that it says consoles. It doesn't necessarily just say Xbox, so that means you're gonna be able to sync it up whether or not you have an Xbox or not.
Right. I think that's pretty cool.
So you can sync it up to your Who Needs Pocket Edition when you can just play it portable on the Nintendo Switch.
Right. And see, here's something to note though about it. You're not going to be able to sync it up with the regular Windows PC version.
Yeah.
There's a Windows 10 version that you'll have to get. I happen to have that, but you will need that special version. But if I'm correct, it's free from the Microsoft Store. If not, it just costs a little bit.
I believe it's free if you have regular Minecraft.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember. I got it free somehow, and I couldn't remember how I got it free.
I don't know if it's still free, but I know it was free for a while if you have the regular copy of the game.
Yeah. So we've got a whole bunch of back-to-back trailers that I'm not terribly familiar with. We've got that Dragon Ball Z Fighter game.
We have some friends who are going to love that game.
Yeah, we have some weeaboo friends that are going to absolutely adore that game.
Of course.
Not my thing, personally.
I'm okay with it. I'm not a huge fighter game. Like, I'll play some Mortal Kombat here and there, but not really.
Right. The next one that kind of played back-to-back was the Darwin Project, and it was basically Hunger Games.
Yeah, also, I like the art style of it, though.
I thought that was kind of cool, but, I mean, did it not scream Hunger Games when you
saw it?
Oh, it
did. It really did. It's a competitive survival game. I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
It looks good.
Yeah, I think so too. That's definitely one I would see. I like games like that personally. I like very competitive, very fast-paced games like that. So that looks like something that would definitely.
Yet you don't like racing games.
No, I don't like racing games.
Competitive, high pace, whatever.
But not racing games.
All right. Black Desert.
Desert. I've heard of that. It's an RPG.
It's an RPG MMO.
I've not heard a lot about it, so I think it's interesting that they're taking it for a full console release, considering that, like...
And it looks amazing.
Yes, yeah, I was trying to figure out what it was, because that's not what I thought Black Desert was. I don't know what I thought it
I
was,
had
but that's
no
not
clue
what
what
I
it
thought
was
it was.
coming on because I was like, man, this looks really Skyrim-esque. Are we
Yeah.
getting a new Elder Scrolls game? No, it's Black Desert.
Yeah. But still looks very cool. I would consider getting that personally because I think that looks very good.
I think about. I'm not a huge fan of MMOs, so maybe.
I also like MMOs, but
Not a huge fan, but they're okay. I played a little bit of World of Warcraft, but not a whole lot. But this definitely looks good, and I would definitely try it out. I would say if I can find a free trial or something online, I might try it out.
So the next one was The Last Night, and it's basically like, what even is this game? Is what Kotaku says, and it's
but
great
it
question.
I loved it. Like as soon as it came on, I was like, man, this looks pretty cool. And then I saw the art style, and I was like,
Let me remind myself which one this was. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that looked really interesting because it's pixelated, but it has like those touches of like real, actually highly rendered like rain effects and stuff like that, which that just seems really cool to me.
Yeah, that blend, I can see that blend going one of two ways. It's either going to work really well or it's going to be very, very bad and it's going to get really annoying.
Yeah.
But from the looks of the trailer, it looks like it's going to go really, really good. I am excited to play this game.
Yeah, I really love that art style. But I don't know what the game is about, so
Yeah,
what do you do in this game?
It didn't show a whole lot about what it was about, but what it did show looked good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to see more before I make a decision, but for now, I liked it.
I gotta remind myself which one this one is, The Artful Escape.
That's one complaint I have about this conference. Like all the games they showed, most of them looked really good, but they showed a lot of games.
Yeah, see, I actually totally forgot what this one was, and see, the problem is that it jumped from game to game so quickly they didn't have time to explain what half of them were.
That's because they had so many games, they didn't have time to talk about most of them, so they had to skip. Like they had The Artful Escape, Code Vein, and Tacoma. Couldn't tell you what really any three of them are about. They all three look okay. They look good.
The Art of Escape was definitely very interesting aesthetically. That was that weird trippy platformer.
Oh, that was the dude with the rock and roll guitar.
Right. That looked kind of weird, but it was some sort of platformer, obviously. Code Vein didn't really explain what that was. It's some kind of anime weeaboo thing.
Yeah, and then Tacoma looked pretty good as well. But I mean, like I said, they all looked pretty okay. They went through it so fast. Cuphead. Can we talk about Cuphead?
Cuphead. Oh yeah, that one was one that went really interesting. And that, oh man, that was weird.
Because it threw me for a loop. That was not what I was expecting. Because they do that. They have a couple games near that they show in the middle of all these like hardcore realistic games, and then you have Cuphead.
Yeah, like I had no idea what this was supposed to be. And I still don't really know what the heck this is supposed to be. So, and my Google Chrome is crashing, so my Kotaku list is glitching out. But
I've got it. Cuphead looked really interesting. I didn't get a good look at it, but they didn't show a whole lot of it, but it definitely looks interesting. And it's not a traditional console game. I believe it said it was Xbox Play Anywhere, part of that, which I'm not really sure what that is. But
what genre is it even supposed to be?
Oh, it looked kind of like I didn't really get a good look at it because, like I said, it didn't show it long. It was like a little 50-second trailer.
I think it was supposed to be kind of like a platformer, kind of like.
It looked like a platformer.
But it had like this.
The first half of the trailer was literally just like old timey intro stuff.
Right. Like honestly, it looks like something Bethesda would show.
It does. It looks like something Bethesda would do right before Fallout.
Right. And that's what confused me so much about it.
It looks really interesting. It does, and it seems like the kind of game that I would definitely play. But this doesn't show a whole lot, and it's coming to Steam, so I'll probably just get it on Steam.
Right. Next, we've got like an indie game montage. We won't really talk about that
because it went through them so quickly.
Right.
Some of the games they showed in there, like they showed a couple that looked like some Super Smash Brothers ripoffs to me, but that was the only thing I really noted about it. That game, I believe it's called Strange Brigade. I don't remember what part of the trailer it was in, but that game stuck out a little bit.
It showed Hello Neighbor, which has definitely become really popular.
Hello Neighbor looked good. I never heard of it until I saw this, but it definitely looked interesting.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that. So yeah,
I like Strange Brigade. I just looked right behind it, It looked very Uncharted to me. If
Mhm.
you've ever played or seen the Uncharted game,
I've seen it. Yeah.
if you look the Strange Brigade stuff, it looked very.
Hmm.
It only showed it for like a second, but it looked very much like the Uncharted type style, and I loved Uncharted, all of them.
I guess we'll talk about Ashen now. Gotta remind
Yeah,
myself which one this is because I keep forgetting which ones these are.
Ashen. It also showed a little bit of Ashen, I believe, in the indie game.
Yeah.
Real Ashen looked
Yeah.
okay. It looked good.
It looked okay. It had an interesting graphic style to it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad about this video. It's going to sound super repetitive because we're just going through each one and saying, yeah, it looked pretty good or it looked cool, had cool art style, but that's really all they showed.
Right. That's why a lot of people were hating on the Microsoft conference because they shouldn't have. In my personal opinion, they should not have tried to show off this many games. They should have just said, let's pick a couple of games and really hit hard on the promotion of these things.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And they shouldn't have had a 2.5 hour, 2.5 hour press conference. That's just excessive.
I believe it was like an hour. It was like an hour 45, but
Oh yeah, still.
I think they should have cut out most of the back-to-back trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have one or two like show the last night because that looked pretty cool, and like the Black Desert and the Dragon Ball game definitely.
Here, I'll put it this way: if you don't have time or don't think it's important enough to talk about a game trailer, you shouldn't be showing that off at your flagship press conference.
Or they should have done all those back-to-backs. Should have done something like the montage they did with the indie games.
Right. I think they should have done that too.
Because that indie game was like less than 2 minutes worth of trailers. That Cuphead trailer took up a full minute, and half of it was just a little intro thing.
Mm-hmm.
More than half of it. So I was like, a lot of it could have just been put together in one big montage. And I think it would have been a little bit better. But then all the games they showed though, like Ashen and Life is Strange, and all these games are separate.
Life is Strange. I'm only familiar with that because of the game theory videos.
Correct. I am as well, and I think it looks good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've wanted to play Life is Strange for a while since I saw that game theory. Haven't got around to it, but this is obviously a prequel to the game, and I think it looks good.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in playing on that one. Playing that one, I think it's cool. I guess we'll talk about Super Lucky's Tale.
Okay, this game, I loved this trailer.
The play style reminded me of Super Mario Galaxy.
It did, and I believe I read something about this, but like, I loved it. I love Nintendo's 3D platformers. I love Super Mario Galaxy. I love Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Sunshine is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. So
this
one looks like it'll be a pretty cool game, personally.
It does. I love the art style. And is it an Xbox exclusive? I
can't remember.
I'm gonna look.
I think it is. I think it is an Xbox exclusive.
I think it is, and that really depresses me because I don't have an Xbox. I'm gonna try and get one, but
yeah.
Okay, because I remember. Okay, I did read something about this. Originally, it was supposed to be a virtual reality thing, like complete VR and like only VR. But now I believe they took that away.
Yeah, and that's what it says in the Kotaku article too. That it won't be as interesting without VR.
Yeah, but hopefully I believe it's just a regular. Yeah, it's just an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Because it has a little Xbox logo on it. But that kind of depresses me because this game looks so good.
Yeah.
It does. It looks really good. And it's such a step back from... And I think it's hilarious they showed it right after the Life is Strange trailer because that's such a dark, depressing game, especially like right after it showed like Ashen and then
all these dark
Life is Strange.
Things, and then it's Super Lucky's Tale!
I think they should have started the conference with Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah. That would have been kind of cool.
I mean, I think
they should have started it with Cuphead. That's what
they should have started with Cuphead because nobody would have known what the heck was going on.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, based on what I've read, it seems like it's been something that's been talked about for a long time, but they're only just now showing it.
I think the conference should have been organized a little better. I do think they should have. I think they should have moved the Forza stuff and the Assassin's Creed stuff closer to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are pretty big things. I think all the indie stuff and all the, I don't want to say boring stuff, but less interesting stuff
They should not have opened with that big Forza thing.
Yeah, because that kind of set the tone. Which I mean, they opened with the Xbox One X stuff.
Right, and it's just when you set the bar this high, and then like at the tip top, and then you just kind of release a bunch of mediocre stuff. It's
But, I
kind of
mean,
really hard to keep.
They kind of
interested.
had, if you watch how their conference played out, they kind of had to start with the Xbox One X stuff because
Yeah, I get that, but
they showed all the stuff and they were like, and it runs so much better on Xbox One X. But I think they could have put that at the end and then said, yeah, all those games you just saw were all running on the Xbox One X. They all run better, do better on the Xbox One X, and that would have just been like, whoa.
yeah,
Just all those games you just thought looked amazing. Once you realized what they were on, that would have made. I think that would have made it a little better. I don't know.
yeah, there could. Yeah, it's very interesting how they chose to do it. It's going to be interesting seeing how Sony does theirs tonight. If they do theirs like Microsoft's, or if they do it differently.
Question: do you think Sony's going to announce a new console?
I don't know. They might announce I don't know.
I hope they announce a cheaper VR.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's what I want. I want cheaper VR.
I guess.
Crackdown 3. Let's move on to Crackdown 3.
You don't want to talk about Sea of Thieves?
I skipped Sea of Thieves. Sorry, let's talk about Sea of Thieves because I did like that one as well.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I love the co-op effect, like how you're supposed to
Yeah.
have to work together with a bunch of different people. And it looks cool how it's open world. I love open world things. So
It reminds me kind of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is pirates, obviously.
Yeah.
And I like pirates. I love pirates. I actually just went and saw the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie the other day. And so right after seeing that and then seeing this, I'm actually kind of excited for this. It looks really good.
Yeah.
The art style was interesting to me. What was the game I thought it kind of reminded me of? Was that Wizards 101 game?
Oh, yeah. Pirate
art-
101.
Pirate 101. Is that a game or is that?
Yeah,
you
there's a
making-
Pirate 101 as well.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of that, but it kind of reminded me of that art style. I mean, I could just be wrong. I could just be crazy, but
I can see where you're coming from because I used to play a lot of Wizard 101.
it definitely looks like it's definitely a Rare game. Like it comes from Rare. You can definitely see their little spin, the way they design their games.
Their art style, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay, I guess since you were so eager to move on to it earlier, we'll talk about Crackdown.
I've never played Crackdown or Crackdown 2 because I actually didn't know it was a game, but apparently Crackdown 2 wasn't very good according to Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
And Crackdown 3 just from the beginning I got excited.
The opening was
Terry
awesome.
Crews, man, I love Terry Crews.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Genius. And that honestly, the game could be garbage, but I might just get it for Terry Crews.
Just because of that trailer. That's how you do a trailer,
good.
my friends. That's how you do a trailer.
It is, and I think they should have done that earlier.
Ooh. Can we move on? Because this is what I want to talk
Guys,
about.
chapter 4.
The Shadows of War, or the Shadow of War. That, that looked awesome.
It does. It looks really good, and I think I've been seeing a couple trailers for this because I've been seeing them in front of advertisements for other videos, but it definitely looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I never played Shadows of Mordor, but I always wanted to, and
I've heard so many good things about that game,
I
and
know.
I haven't played it either, and I want to. There's just so many games that we haven't played. Like when we get to the Nintendo conference, me and you can just go nuts because we've played most of them.
Yeah.
But for as far as Microsoft and Sony goes, like I haven't played a whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm. But Shadows of War, I keep saying Shadows of War, Shadow of War, was definitely impressive, and I would say it was probably one of the better ones that they showed off.
It's gonna be one of those games that if I never play it, I'm going to go watch the quote unquote movie on YouTube of all the cutscenes.
Oh yeah.
Those are always fun to watch, especially if they're funny and good, like this looks like it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch that.
So the next one was called Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and this was a very, very artsy looking thing.
It's a sequel. I've never played the original Ori game, but I know it's really good. It's really highly praised, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was very fitting that the guy came out afterwards. I can't remember who it was that came out, but he was talking about, how video games are art, and this is definitely a game, I think, that is an example of how video games can be an art form.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing, and like they had the guy come out and actually straight up the composer playing.
That
music.
was a really cool effect too.
It was.
Good.
That's just good because the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for that. I would definitely pick that up, especially because it's definitely not exclusive.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll finally talk about Anthem. You want to talk about Anthem? I'll let you.
We can talk about Anthem. I like Anthem. Like I said, I believe I said it yesterday in the video. Reminded me very much of Fallout in the EA conference, and at the beginning it reminded me much more of Fallout than it did yesterday too, because it starts out and you see this. It looks kind of
Post-apocalyptic, yeah.
and you're in this like little society, and I'm like, well, that really reminds me of when you're in Diamond City and Fallout 4. And then they get in this mech suit, and I'm like, Fallout 4 was like all about mech suits, man. But then they go jump out into the world, and I'm like, Destiny.
Yeah, and then it was a lot like Destiny. But see, the whole monsters and natural environment theme really gave me a Monster Hunter vibe. And I know you've never played Monster Hunter, we were talking about this, but just this whole concept of these gigantic free-roaming monsters that actually, like, go and eat each other, and there's actually an interacting ecosystem within the game, just heavily reminded me of Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it definitely looks good. I definitely think it's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hit, but I don't think it's gonna match Destiny, but it's still gonna do good.
We'll see. It depends on how good it is. If it's really good, I think it could overtake Destiny eventually. But Destiny has set a high standard.
We'll see what Activision shows off for Destiny 2.
Yeah, I think Destiny's just gonna be pretty good, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Microsoft conference. There was a lot of stuff to talk about, but hey, we got it all. So,
okay,
any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. What game are you most excited to play for the Microsoft conference?
Me?
Yeah.
I would say Shadow of War. That's
yeah,
the one I would play the most.
Definitely. For me, it's the Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh yeah.
That
I figured
game.
It'd be Assassin's Creed for you.
Well, okay, Assassin's Creed. It's a game that it's the kind of thing. It's like I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, a new Assassin's Creed's gonna come in. I was not expecting Super Lucky's Tale. I've never heard anything about it before this conference, which just shows kind of how out of the loop I am.
I would have expected something like that more from Sony than from Microsoft.
I definitely would see something from Sony. Definitely going to see some 3D platformers from Nintendo, but from Odyssey. Microsoft on the Xbox, and this game just, it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna have to get an Xbox seriously just to play Super Lucky Tale, and I don't want to, but I'm going to because it looks so good.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty much all for this particular video. There was one other press conference yesterday, and that was Bethesda's, but we'll talk about that in a separate video. But that's pretty much all we have for you guys today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Portal Master 9351, and that has been
Jackson Lee.
And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!